Hello and welcome to ESPNcricinfo's Videocast. Really happy that this young man has managed to give us some time. In fact, he's struggling a bit with all the time that he's got in his home. First few days were tough, but now he's got used to this routine that we have at the moment, all of us. Welcome to the show, Mayank Agarwal.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure being on the show.
Yeah, man. The first time I saw you was 2010, New Zealand Under-19 World Cup. Chandrakant Pandit may have been your coach. And it was fascinating watching all you young players because there was a certain style that you guys had and it resembles somebody from the Indian team, at the time. So, and it happens to all of us. So, I saw you and I thought, a bit of Virendra Sehwag in this man.
Well, to be honest, he's somebody that I've looked up to in terms of batting. Just thoroughly enjoyed the way he's batted and the way he's gone about opening the innings for the country and in IPL games and in any other game that I could watch of his. The way he used to go attack and put the bowlers under pressure was something I enjoyed. So
let's start at the very beginning, Mayank. Typically, in Bangalore there is a cricketing culture, but was yours by chance or it started very early? Did the parents encourage you? How did that happen? Why cricket, and how did you get sort of single-minded about it?
I started playing the game after watching Sachin bat against Shane Warne. I don't remember which game, but yeah, that's very clear in my head. It was Sachin versus Shane Warne, and the way Sachin Paji was tackling him was something amazing.
So after that, did you pester your parents that I want to follow up this sport seriously? I want to join somebody's nest or academy as they're called, or did it just happen? Somebody saw you and said, let's catch
it was then ki haan theek hai, cricket khelna hai, you want to play cricket and you just join a summer academy, and I think I took it up a little seriously in school because in 5th standard we had inter-class matches with tennis ball. And I did exceedingly well. And the coach then called me. He said, "Why don't you come and join the school team?" I was a little apprehensive. Wasn't sure whether it's going to work out, not going to work out. I live far from the city, so I had to travel an hour every day to reach. And practice used to start at 6:30, and I had to leave home by 5:30. So all of those things were there, but yeah, at the end it did work out well.
And it was always batting, or you did something else as well, keeping wickets and a bit of bowling? It was just straight on batting and haven't tried too many other things?
Actually, my first paper cutting came out as a bowler. I got 4 wickets for my school as an off spinner. So that's how I got in. And then I just took up to batting, and I haven't looked back since.
And then what, the bowling became a secondary thing because you found out batting was your real sort of primary skill, and what happened then? Why did bowling sort of fade out?
I think I vaguely remember getting hit quite badly in the school nights while bowling.
Not yourself. I mean, bowlers sort of milking you. Okay.
Yeah. So the batsman just hitting me, and then I started getting runs. So I said, okay, yeah, probably bowling is not my thing. Though I did take it up when we played under-19, and I must say Chandrakant Pandit did say that all of you have to bowl, whether you're a batsman or a bowler or a wicket keeper. Finish your batting and make sure you help out the bowlers by going out there and bowling. So and I remember filling in a few overs for the Indian team when we were playing the World Cup.
Yeah, man, interesting coach Chandrakant Pandit, because I must confess, very close friend of mine. I have known him since he was 16, 17 years old. But he is not one of those coaches that you get very often, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's very different. Obviously, when we were young, we didn't understand his methods or his techniques. But he was very strict. He was a taskmaster, and something that I learned from him was awareness. He made sure that you had to be very disciplined and aware of your surroundings. So I have to share a very funny incident. So he made me the captain of the ball committee. So he said, "Okay, Mayank, you're going to be looking after the balls." So yeah, he gave me 2-3 sets of balls. In typical in the laundry bag you put 40 balls, and then new balls we had a box of new balls. So yeah, so he told me, Mayank, this has to go in your kit. Ye tere kit mein jana hai. And when we reach South Africa, you hand it over to me. So I said, fair enough, sir. And we go to South Africa, and we are at the first practice session, and he's like, हाँ man, ball kahan hai? So I was like, हाँ sir, लेके आता हूँ. So I go to the kit, and you know in the airlines where you have a zip and they put a blue thing to lock.
Yeah.
So my kit was locked, was sealed like that, and I hadn't opened it when we reached South Africa in the hotel, and when I got to opening the kit then, and I saw the balls weren't there, and I was like, shh. I was like, wow, okay, now something's wrong. And Mandeep Singh was my roommate, so I said, okay, maybe I might have kept it in Mandy's bag. I called Mandy. I called him quietly because I know if he got to know, he would get angry. So I called him quietly. I said, Mandy, dekhna bhai, tere bag mein balls to nahi rehgi. So he's like, nahi bhai. I said, yaar, please check kar. And then he checked and it wasn't there. And then I realized, like, maybe, God, I've forgotten them.
You didn't get it to South Africa.
Yeah, I didn't get to South Africa. So I went and told him, sir, I think I've forgotten the balls. So he's like, go now, take the taxi, go now to the hotel and get the balls. And I was like, sir, I forgot the balls in India. And as in I can't explain the look on everyone's face, and he was furious. He couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, but I did get a shouting for it, but at the end of the day, it's a great memory now.
Right. 2010 Under-19 World Cup. 2017, your big moment, you got a triple 100. 2018, you played for India. But a pretty long gap from Under-19 to sort of playing for India. Tell us about that phase. How you would look at it and what happened there.
Well, I thought after playing for India Under-19, I would graduate and play Ranji Trophy and so on and henceforth. That was a plan, but when you play for states like Mumbai, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, no disrespect to any other state, but some of the states it's really, really hard because you got packed sides, the senior team's packed, and it's not easy to get into the Ranji Trophy setup, and that's what happened. So there was 3-4 years I was playing age group cricket. Very honestly, my performances weren't very great or not something that you could stand up, because if you got to break in to a Ranji Trophy setup in a big side, then you got to have a stand-up noted season where you get tons and tons of runs, and then they say, okay, he's ready to represent state, and very honestly, I didn't have any till I was 23, 24. Till I was 23, so it took me time.
So tell us about that breakthrough season where you sort of got picked for the state.
It was I was playing under 25 then. It was Karnataka's under 25, and I got 3 back-to-back double hundreds in the state games, and after that happened, then and that season got over, and the next season, my first game of under 25, we played against Delhi. I got a 90 in the first innings, 100 in the second innings, and then Robin got injured, and when Robin got injured, that's when I got a call on the team. Otherwise, there was no place then.
But you got an opportunity when you were in form. So that's not such a bad thing. So do you have anything special memory about that triple 100? Because I'm just intrigued by people who get triple 100. Because, once you get 100, it's like a peak that you've climbed to go on and get a double 100. And then after that, another 100. So was there something that you were thinking, India, I've got to make, I've got to play in a way that everybody now looks up to me? Was that the motivating thing, or it is something that you had now had as a habit to just keep going, like Pujara does, keeps going?
No, I wouldn't say that I had a habit like Pujara does. In fact, the previous game we were playing against Hyderabad, and I got 2 zeros in that game. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure whether I'm going to even be part of the Karnataka 15 squad again. But I was picked. I was in the squad, and we were playing the game in Pune. So the dressing room is quite inside, and our team used to put out a net planner. So I remember I was the first one out of the dressing room. Quickly took my kit, ran out to the ground, and saw the net planner, hoping to see my name. That agar naam hai ek din match ke pehle, so there is a chance I'll be playing the game, and my name was there, and I went and batted. I didn't have a great net session, but I was just relieved the fact that I will be playing, and come game time, it was, I said, okay, I got to go out there and play, and I was just initially playing to not get out. I was like, thoda start mile, thoda score ban jaye, and then I can take it on from there. And I remember Vinay Kumar having a word with me, and he said, Mayank, if you get out early, bad luck. You'll have to start from scratch, and that's the truth. And he was outrightly honest. And he said, if you get a start, make sure you make it count. So I just went out, going about that innings, and I got a triple 100. I reached 100, and then I realized, and I said, no, I will not get out. I will continue. And then I reached a 150, and then I said, no, I will still continue because I went through something. There was the feeling that I went through when I got 2 zeros was miserable. I hadn't felt like that, and I said, I don't want to ever feel that again. I don't want to ever feel that scare of being dropped again. And then I got a double 100. So till I didn't get a double 100, I didn't hit a single shot in the air. And then once I got a double 100, I felt relieved. I said, okay, yeah, now you're a little surety in the side, and now I can go and express myself. And I then just kept playing, and triple 100. And then I thought to myself, I said, you don't get out. If they declare the innings, fair enough, you don't get out.
I'm very interested in talking about your international sort of test cricket only. It's not easy for a young player to be called to Australia. Prithvi Shaw injured, you came as a backup opener, had 3 innings in Australia. And I remember, I look at a young player playing in foreign conditions, and you got a couple of 70s and a 40, and I'm thinking, wow, this is brilliant. And after that, you go to West Indies. So your start of your test career was away from home. It's baptism by fire, as they say. So tell us about you going to Australia with your technique, your game, your mindset. 70, 40, and the bowling attack was outstanding. Stark, Hazelwood, Nathan Lyons coming.
We had a A tour to New Zealand before that. So we finished the A tour, came back to India, and from Auckland flew to Mumbai. From Mumbai, I didn't go to Bangalore. We had a Ranji Trophy game in Gujarat. Played that game, and at the end of that game, I got a call saying that pack your bags. You're going to be going to Australia. I was very, very happy, and I didn't think too much after that. I said, wow, I'm just it's a dream come true, being part of the Indian team.
But now the thought had come into your head, Mayank, that India cap, I'm knocking at the door. So that was something that you were aware of.
Yeah, because I was getting runs. I got massive runs that Ranji Trophy season and for India A. So I did have a word with Rahul Bhai, and I was speaking to him. I said that I am getting thoughts of sometimes not getting picked and all of that. And he very clearly, I remember he telling me, we were having this chat in September, and he told me that, Mayank, these are the things that are in your hand. You worked hard, you come here, you're as close as you can get. Okay? Selection is not in your hand. He said, and he told me, and I totally agree that, theoretically you understand that, but practically it's not easy. Exactly. It's not easy to be in that situation. But he put forth a few things, and he said, what is to say that the coming October or November is not going to be different from September? So he said, why don't you look at that? And you are as close to playing for the country. So if you think otherwise, you get into a negative mind frame. It's you're the one who's going to lose out and nobody else. So I remember that talk, and that kept me going. So and when I got the call, I was elated. I called him up. I thanked him. And once I got the call, then I didn't think of whether I am going to make my debut, not going to make my debut. I was just very, very happy, very excited to be part of the Indian test team.
So there you go, Sydney and Melbourne. is where you played, and tell us about these bowlers that you're watching on TV, and then first ball at the test level.
I think making your debut for India is always a special feeling, irrespective of where we play. It just probably playing in MCG and enhances the situation, or just makes it even more bigger. It was Boxing Day Test match. Virat Kohli and Ravi Bhai had told me that listen, you're going to be playing the next game. Prepare for it. And I remember Ravi Shastri coming to me and telling me, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, listen, you are one person who's got a lot of runs to get into the setup, to get into the team. Okay, you know your game, you understand your game. Just go out there and do what you're doing. You don't have to make too many changes. You don't have to do that. Yes, the intensity is going to be is going to be a notch higher, but you're there. You've got the runs. You know how to get the runs. Just go out there, express yourself. And I just went and did that.
But how did you feel? What was the realization? First 10-15 minutes playing the new ball. Never easy. The full cover on new ball on those pitches.
Well, I remember not sleeping at my best the previous night, because I was excited. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to go.
Adrenaline.
I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be playing for the country. I'm going to be realizing my dream. I'm going to be representing my country, which is a big thing. I was actually, in fact, very, very happy that we won the toss and batted first, because when if you're going to be fielding, then you're going to be thinking, oh, this is how international cricket's played, or this is how it's done. Yes, wicket is like this. You need to play according to this. You need to play according to the wicket. You need to do this. You need to do that. Less information. Go out there. Just go out there. Jump in the water, and then you will figure your way out of how to go about it. Won the toss, elected to bat, batted up in whites, sat outside the boundary line, looked around, 80,000 people, and I tell you, I felt like a very small person, like a gladiator in the English movies.
Yeah, I'm very interested actually in the experience. The first 15-20 minutes, you played these guys, and then you're thinking, this is quite manageable. Or whether you made any technical adjustment quickly in the first over. Oh, I can't be doing this now because this is slightly different. All those kind of realizations in the first 15-20 minutes, because then after that it's Mayank Agarwal, who's played the way he's done until now.
No technical adjustments. No. Very honestly, I just thought, okay, I just focused on what helped me get here. I stuck to my process. Watch the ball, middle the ball. Watch the ball, middle the ball. That's all I kept telling myself. And I remember my first shot, I got a 3 runs, I think, between cover and mid-off. And I said, okay, wow, I'm off the mark.
That's the shot, no?
Yeah. That little shot, I said, okay, now, I'm off the mark. And then things just started rolling in. And then I just got into my bubble, or got into that zone, that ideal performance state. And I said, and then after that, I wasn't thinking. I was just watching the ball and reacting.
Okay, then West Indies came. Always, batting in the West Indies these days, not as easy as people think. Just 150, 4 innings. So was there any feeling of, what am I doing? Great start. What happened here?
Yeah, that was exactly the feeling after the West Indies tour. And I was telling myself, I said, man, what is happening? You had a great start. You planned and practiced and thought about all the ways, visualized and thought all the ways to get 100, and here you are, you come out 50s. And I remember Rohit Sharma sitting next to me in the second game, and he told me, he said, man, because he saw me a little tense, and he said, I have a piece of advice. So I said, please, I'd like some. So he told me, he said, see, there's a difference between when you play your first series and your second series. First series you play, you have no expectations out of yourself. And you go out there and you do what you did in Australia is great. Okay. Now you come here to West Indies. Now there is certain expectation from you, which is great. You want that responsibility. You want to take up the ownership. You want to be the man to deliver for your side. But understand that there is pressure. Don't add more pressure on yourself by saying, okay, I need to get runs. I need to do this. I need to do that. Go out there and play like you're playing your first game. take it as it comes, go out there and play like you're playing your first game. And that kind of actually eased my nerves a bit. And then I went on to get a 50. But after that, that is something that I've taken with me from there.
So I'm thinking Mayank Agarwal, a guy who's got 2 consecutive double hundreds, 190, and then he gets a triple hundred, 70, 70, and 50. So I'm sure a lot of people would be saying, your supporters from back home, what's happening? Where are the hundreds?
Well, to be honest, I did get a lot of that. I did beat myself up, saying ki, you can't let your team down, you can't let yourself down, because 70, convert that into 100. Pujara got big runs. You can make a big difference, and team being in a better position, because all of us know opener getting runs makes a massive difference. But then I said, okay, these are the mistakes I've made. I look back and see my dismissals, and I got first match I got caught down the leg side just before tee to Pat Cummins. I said, okay, that can be a little unfortunate. Let that go. Second innings bowled to Pat Cummins. But Sydney, that's where I beat myself up. I'd already hit line.
Got another 70.
Yeah, I'd got a 70. I'd hit line for 2 sixes and get out hitting in the deep. So that is unacceptable. And I remember clearly Ravi Bhai telling me, he said, son, this is not acceptable. And after that West Indies series, I beat myself up even more, because then if you had got 100 there, it would have been different, or 100 here in the West Indies would have been different again. But you haven't done that, and then you keep beating yourself up for that. But then learning's taken from there, and said, okay, what's gone is gone. I need to look ahead, and when I get a chance in India, I need to make it count. If I get to a 50, I just got to make it big. And touch wood.
We know exactly what happened when you got your first 100. So now, West Indies, Australia, I just want you to pick the most difficult bowler that you faced on these 2 trips, because you're talking about some really class bowlers. There's Stark, there's Cummins, there's Hazelwood, there's Nathan Lyon, there's Shannon Gabriel, there's Kemar Roach, Jason Holder. So who's the guy that you would think was the toughest of this whole lot?
I thought Pat Cummins was terrific when we played Australia in Australia, and I thought Kemar Roach was lethal. I can't pick one, because Roach's spell in West Indies very 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 challenging, in the sense he wasn't bowling. I think he wasn't bowling at his quickest, but every ball he was asking you the tough questions as a batsman.
So yes, the 100 didn't come, and then South Africa, a couple of test matches, get 100, convert that into a double 100. So you were clearly making up, and you were beating yourself up for not getting 100. And I'm sure after 100, you were thinking, no way I'm going to give up now after this.
Yeah, definitely. 100, a feeling I can't explain. First 100 in test match cricket. Big partnership with Rohit. I was just like, there are no words. I can't tell you, or I can't exactly explain how I felt. But I was very, 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 very happy to have got that.
Philander, Rabada, how was the experience playing these 2 guys?
I think Philander is very, very accurate. Can get the ball talking on any track. But good, we played in Vizag. Good, nice track to bat on. Won the toss again. Batted first. The plan was initially to play them out. They're bowling well. Just look to play them out. Anything loose, only then you punish. Nothing out of your plan. Nothing out of your preparation. Just stick to what you've been doing. Be mentally disciplined about it. And those are the things that I thought. And once I got a start, I said, listen, now you can't make the same mistake again. Sixes
seem to be very ingrained in you. I mean, they seem to come very naturally, and when you hit it, it's just not over the rope. It goes a long way. So when you got that 200, there were 6 sixes, and then again Bangladesh 8 sixes. So is that the Virendra Sehwag kind of, because you liked him so much as a player, or is something that all young players now do? Hit the ball in the air and they hit it a long way.
Well, see, the plan was get set, get a score, get your team to a good position, and once you got your team to a good position, then you can actually accelerate or be a little more free, and and that's what I plan to do. Initially, I didn't go over the top, even in India. But as soon as the spinner came on, when I saw the opportunity to go over the top, I said, okay, I will take calculated risks and score. I'm not going to let them put pressure on me. If they bowl a good ball, fair enough. That is a good ball bowled. But if they're not going to bowl a good ball, or if there is a chance that I can attack and put their spinners under the pressure, then it's going to be big win for us, because the fast bowlers in India, it's not going to be easy for them to come back second spell, third spell, and the faster they come back, the harder it gets for the fast bowlers. And I had Rohit Sharma at the other end, who was hitting sixes and who hit sixes with absolute ease.
Moving on, you get another double 100. Tell us about that experience, and tell us about the experience playing with the pink ball.
Bangladesh first game, Indore, double 100 there. Fantastic, very happy. Go to Kolkata, and there's so much hype about pink ball and the way what it does. Can you cite it? Can you not cite it? It was the timing's different, because now as a test player you get used to waking up early, sleeping early, and the game starting at 9:30. Here suddenly you have the game starting in the afternoon, which is a little different. So it was great to have experienced that. I think that the experience was fantastic in the sense that it was the first ever test. The day and night we were playing as an Indian team. We had played a Dilip Trophy in pink ball, so I had experience of playing pink ball then, but obviously international cricket is a lot different. And the way it was conducted and the whole city turning pink for that game was massive.
Now the big one, and I thought you played really well in New Zealand. And why I say that is because I've seen you get your double hundreds. You're a pretty free flowing batsman. New Zealand was like, you had to really become a different player. I mean, I just looked at the number of minutes that you spent, getting those scores. You got 34 and 58. When you got 34, you batted for 2.5 hours. 58, 3 hours. And that was the need of the hour, because the pitches, the ball wasn't just moving. It was the kind of, Virat said, different kind of behavior. The ball wasn't bouncing like this, but like a spongy kind of bounce. So tell us about the New Zealand experience and these innings, because these are really sort of hard grinds that you had to do.
Yeah, they did. The wicket was green and the rain was around, so the wicket had a lot of moisture. And the plan was for the opening batsman and all the other batsmen to be a lot more disciplined. Play within yourself. If you get a loose ball, we still got to attack it. We've got to have a positive mindset, but you got to understand your game, and you got to understand where you're going to score off, and you can't really hit on the rise. And credit to the New Zealand bowlers, they were relentless, immaculate with their line and length, and they kept testing you. Whether it be Bolt, Saudi, Jamieson playing his debut game, it didn't feel like he was playing that. And De Grandhomme coming in, just putting the ball and asking you questions at a different pace. But yeah, it was a challenging tour, and a lot of things learned from that tour.
Final question, and I've been told by my team to ask you this: long distance running. It's something that you don't associate with the modern day player. And I read as well that you do some kind of meditation, yoga, vipassana and stuff like that. Still into those two things?
Yes, they are a very integral part of my process of how I prepare for a tournament, for a game, and for a series. Because for me, long distance running has really helped me in the sense that you do question yourself that is it really helpful in your game. You can't say when you put it in terms of just running, it's not really helpful because you're not running at great speeds. But there are so many times when you're doing a long distance run like a 10K or a 12K where you want to give up, you want to stop because you're tired, or mentally the questions are posed: is this good enough? Is this not good enough?
Yeah.
Or is this going to actually help my game? So there are just different tiredness coming out in different forms, and I think with a lot of long distance running, it's really helped me with my mental discipline to keep pushing and to keep to keep going at it till you don't reach your target. So you just keep running till you don't reach your target. You just keep pushing. For me, meditation, some days in meditation you have, it's good. You can just, you reach that mindset or in that zone very fast, and some days it doesn't. So it's very relatable to sport. Some days, you just you off, and from the first ball you're there and thereabouts, and you're middling the ball and everything's falling into place. And there are times where you have to grind till you get to that state, and then things become easier.
Well, thank you so much, Mayank, for this chat. It's been really enriching. I mean, it's been rewarding, the time spent, and thanks so much for joining us. You've just made this series of interviews that I'm doing, trying to get inside the head of sportsmen, cricketers, players like you. And you've given us a lot. And the whole purpose, Mayank, is to chronicle all these thoughts. For young kids growing up, they would know, what makes Mayank Agarwal tick. So they just have to watch this. So thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
really
you so
enjoyed
much.
this chat.
No, I love being on the show. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Bye.